welcome vintage gamers to more donation deck lists brought to you by my lovely patrons, basically. Today we have two donation deck lists. The first one is going to be from YCFSN. They asked for anything that I felt was competitive, and one of the things I've been meaning to do recently is build what I would consider maybe an improvement on the mono white decks in vintage. It's not a secret that I don't really think that the current builds of Lurrus as a companion are optimal for mono white. And so this is going to be my attempt on making mono white more playable in vintage. My biggest point of concern with the Lurrus companion decks is that, one, they don't play Cavern of Souls, which I think is the best part of mono white. And two, they don't play Archon, which is the single best hate bear in the format. Now, obviously, this is not a bear, but Cavern on Archon, uncounterable Archon, makes many decks have extreme difficulty playing the game of Magic. I do firmly believe this is the best card to make these kind of creature decks shine, and you can see it prop up all kinds of archetypes. It's propped up a green-white deck, a black-white deck, the Bant Archon deck, the four-color Archon deck, and the main thing that all of those decks in common have is Archon of Emeria. So that's the first thing I did, is I made a deck with 4 Cavern and 4 Archon. The second thing that I did is I think Stoneforge Mystic Cauldron Complete is the key to beating Hogaak for these kind of decks. I've been very impressed with like the green-white Wessel deck, as well as blue-white Birdblade. In terms of Stoneforge Mystic Cauldron, that is a very reliable way to put up a good fight against the Hogaak decks, and it's also like a reasonably fast clock against the combo decks in the format as well. The biggest problem I have with Stoneforge Mystic is that all of the other equipment suck. Batterskull is not very good in this format. The swords are just really clunky. Lion Sash, too clunky. Jite, too clunky. So I have like a problem with that. So what we're trying today is a Skull Clamp. The reason we're trying a Skull Clamp is because one thing I'm testing in this league is Lurrus in the main to provide Cathar Commando loops. Now, this is a card that is seeing play in a bunch of the decks that are, creature-based decks. But it was a card that really impressed me in the green-white deck. And then I thought the Lurrus, I didn't think Lurrus was ever like bad in those white weenie decks. I just think that like giving up Archon is like too much. Now, a problem with Lurrus in this deck is with 4 Cavern, I'm not exactly sure how castable it is, but we'll have to test that on the go. But if Skull Clamp ends up being bad, I think you just make it, I don't know, a Sword of Fire and Ice probably. But it's something we have to test. But the nice thing is that we have 4 Thalia, 4 Cathar Commando, 4 Luminarch Aspirant before you put counters, and so there's a decent amount of Skull Clamp targets here. It works really well with Lurrus. We are playing Deafening Silence to try to shore up the combo matchup. We do have 1 Karakas in the main. I know some lists play 2. I can't bring myself to do that. It might be correct, but whenever I draw 2 Karakas, I lose my mind. So can't do that. The other thing I have is Solitudes. Now, the green-white list plays no paths, no swords. The white weenie list plays 3 paths and some swords on the board. I think if you're going to be white, you might as well use this card. This card is completely broken. Like, super, super powerful card. Being a 3/2 flash lifelinker, in addition to being the, free removal spell, this card is taking over other formats, and the only reason it doesn't see a substantial amount of play in Vintage is because your decks don't typically play a lot of white creatures. Or white cards, I should say. Like, the decks that play white typically splash white for swords kind of deal. But this deck, I didn't have that problem, so I want to see Solitudes in your decks, especially when you don't have Lurrus as a companion. You do get some nice sideboard cards. I really like Serenity with Lurrus. This card is just a complete beating. Mirroring Crusader against bug-style decks is obviously a sweet one. Stony Silence is still very good against PO. Obviously, pretty lights out against things like 8-cast and that kind of stuff. Kataki, nice for Shops, right? Especially when Shops isn't playing Ballista anymore. Shops is like very much off of Ravager onto Nettlecyst and that kind of thing. So Gataki actually gains a lot of power when people just stop playing Walking Ballista. And then you have some like things like Containment Priest and Solitude, Soul Guide Lantern, which come back with Lurrus. So this is how I'm going to try building mono white. It's tested okay for me. I'm not sure if it's tested better or worse than Grimm's mono white deck, but this is what we're going to try out tonight. Exciting news, everyone. I have just launched a new Patreon. There, you can show support for my content, grab additional weekly metagame recommendations, and even submit a donation deck list. Donation deck lists are the most frequently asked question on my channel, and I feel I'm now ready to support this new content. Please check out the rules for submissions on the Patreon link in the description, and thank you for your continued support of my channel. Let's battle. Okay, so here we go. We're testing out a different version of mono white. Thank you again to YCFSN for another month of patronage, and this is what we're gonna do. I've got exactly what I want to see. I've got Black Lotus, Cavern on Archon, Slam and Archon of Emeria. I love it. This is on the play just a great start against every deck in the format, because even if they're on Bazaar, Bazaar will come into play tapped. So this is just the thing you want to do. Uncounterable turn 1 Cavern. That turn 1 Archon off Cavern. Like this card is so freaking annoying for every deck in the format. It's crazy. Yep, and that's why I sequenced the way I did. First, you cast your Lotus so that they don't know you have a Cavern. So it's pretty unlikely people counter a Lotus in the blind. But if you had played Cavern on Archon and then cast Lotus, they're going to counter your Lotus. So make sure you sequence that way. And we have great follow-ups too. Like our opponent can't wasteland us. Our opponent can't play more than one Moxen. In fact, they just are stuck playing a single Moxen. Obviously, my next spell is counterable. I'm gonna go with Luminarch, because this way I can play around a bolt out of my opponent's deck. I don't know if they'll be on bolts, but being able to just dodge a large swath of the removal in the format seems pretty strong. Also increases the clock. I didn't really want to eat up my mana for 2 turns to do like Stoneforge Cauldron. And then if I hit a mana source, we can do like Cathar Commando, kill their Pearl or something. All right. That's a free win off the back of Cavern on Archon. Now, we don't know what our opponent's on. All we know is there's a Pearl. That doesn't really give us a lot to work with here. I don't know. What will be the answer? Soul King. I don't remember what Soul King plays. Know that I remember they don't have any published results, but I don't remember if they have any results in the database. Let's just go. Let's do it. Everyone has the database. Anyone can do this. Soul King 54. What do we got? Nothing. Just leagues. All right. I think I'm gonna resubmit then. I don't know if I would want to put in these like really hardcore artifact hate cards. Like when someone keeps Pearl no land, you kind of think they might be on like multiple Mox and Mox Opal PO kind of thing, but we already kind of pre-boarded for PO anyways. Like against PO, we would bring in these Stony Silences, maybe consider these Katakis. But like a lot of our cards are already good, so I'm just gonna resubmit. If they're on mono white, that's interesting. I don't know if we have any cards to bring in for mono white. Maybe like some of we would take out our Deafening Silences and put in like these Mirroring Crusaders maybe. This is another great hand. White source, multiple Moxen. Obviously, if Deafening Silence is bad against my opponent, then this hand gets a lot worse, but we'll see what they're on. It's pretty interesting that they played no land, though, right? Maybe they just didn't want to show the land and wanted to see more from my hand before conceding to turn 1 Archon, which is, like, totally reasonable. Oh, it chops. All right, well, that makes sense too. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, it's Jewel Shops. Ah, okay. Well, this hand is quite good against Jewel Shops. I need them to brick on their Jewel combo, but if they do brick on their Jewel combo, we should be quite far ahead. Obviously, I don't play any Mind Break traps or anything like that. I don't think they're good. Obviously, it would be good here. But all right. So I would suspect this Demonic Tutor gets a Force of Will. We don't really have a good amount of counterplay here besides Slam Archon. If we had a Cavern, I would be much happier. If we had like a Pearl, so we could play 2 Deafening Silences, that would be pretty good. But this deck is super powerful, super explosive, but very, very vulnerable. Like if this Archon resolves, they have like very few ways to remove it. Maybe 3 Dust Members in the board, 4 Force of Wills in the main. Which is why my opponent probably conceded game 1, because they just couldn't beat an Archon. And that's kind of how a lot of the format is. And now, like, some of the more established decks, like, they have answers to Archon. Like, the Breach deck might have 1 Bolt, 1 Breach, or 1 Bolt, 1 Abrade. The PO deck might have, like, 1 Teferi, 1 Swords, or something. Like, they have answers to Archon, but there's so few answers, and it's, especially when your deck isn't, like, a tutor deck, if your deck is a cantrip-based deck, so hard to find them. Let's see what my opponent got here. I mean, they could easily have, you know, a Metamorph. Well, if they had a Metamorph, they would have just cast Metamorph. So I can't. I would have to think this is gonna get a. Yeah. So my Strip Mine and my Wasteland would be good if my opponent didn't have infinite mana already. So what we're gonna have to do is just play an Archon and hope they didn't demonic. If they demonic, hopefully they didn't have a blue card for Force. Now the good thing is, they are, you know, fearing Archon, so it's possible they could have, like, countered the Sapphire to stop me from Archoning, and then I could have slammed his Deafening Silence, but... Alright, see if it it resolved. Nice. Okay, so this is good. Obviously, my opponent has 9 mana right now, but they only get to cast 1 spell this turn, and if my Archon of Emeria successfully attacks, I get to steal their Jewel. So, it puts them in a really rough spot. Assuming Magic Online works correctly. Because I know this Jewel has been bugged before. Okay, that's a new one. I don't remember a Golos in Jewel Shops before. I wonder if it's more... that's interesting. The good news is we're still attacking and stealing this coveted Jewel. And now when we steal this coveted Jewel, we get to draw 3 and we gain control of it. A downside, though, is we only get to cast 1 spell of the turn. But maybe we can just hard cast this Cauldron. That'd be interesting. In which case, that can block their Golos. All right. I think I'm just going to hard cast Cauldron so they can't attack and steal back the Jewel. That means they are going to get a Construct, but I think that's okay. Can't say I've done this recently. Tapped Strip Mine again. Archon of Emeria being great. I really like the spot we're in. We're gonna play like a second Archon, so they really can't get out of this lock. We're gonna keep the coveted Jewel, Strip Mine their Saga. We might have to like sack this Archon to block, but is there anything we could draw that would be like super, super good? I guess a Solitude. Thinking about just sacking one of these lands. Yeah. I just can't let them get to play multiple spells per turn, and I can't let them steal their jewel, my jewel. All right, I think we just keep getting rid of their mana sources and play another Archon. So if they attack, they lose their big creature, and we lose an Archon, but that seems pretty reasonable for us. Another tapped workshop. Mana Crypt. So I don't really feel like I need to attack, right? I guess I can get in now for 2, because I don't really care if I lose my Luris. I guess I will care if I draw a Cathar Commando, though. Nice strip mine. I don't even have any lands. I have a coveted jewel. Why do I need lands? I just think this card's so broken. Super, super good in this format. All right, what do you got for us? Dismember on our Cauldron would be quite good. On 3rd workshop, huh? All right. All right, so I'm gonna sack another land. I drew a wasteland. So this time, I guess we just play a Deafening Silence. And we'll get in there. Now, yeah, I don't really have a better attack than this. Now they could play a Metamorph on our Cauldron. That would be quite good. It's another Golos. Sure. Interesting build. Such an interesting build. Now, you think they're gonna get another Saga and we're just gonna wasteland it again? Kind of lucky. I mean, that's our 4th wasteland effect. Yeah. That's a little lucky. But I mean, we could also be drawing Cathar Commandos and looping them with Luris, so. Yo, appreciate that. That's why we do it. That's why we have the YouTubes. No Saga gaming here. That's just not really a thing they're doing. You can get all 5 colors for Golos. Like they already have 3, but it's not really the goal. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I got a F3. I got a F3. Oh no. If they play a key, I'd be so sad. I've not been I think I've been F6ing, so I gotta be a little careful here. What does this attack look like? This attack looks like they go to 5, they die in the air, kind of thing. So this is 6 in the air, so they're at 4. They block this fully, and they eat my Luris, then they attack back and draw, but I think that's fine. Oh, can I just equip and move it into the air? I can't do that. I can do that if I want to. So the only problem with that is it plays into Dismember really, really poorly. Which I actually think is worth playing around. It just feels like a way I could lose the game. Now it doesn't feel like a way I could lose the game, but 3, 4, now I don't have enough mana. So this is gain life equal to power. So if I hit this, I think that's 13. No, it doesn't work. I think I'm just gonna attack in the air again. Seems fine. Well, this is a lethal, so they have to do, yeah. So I just won't attack with Luris. There's kind of no reason to. This is fine. They have to chump this. Okay. And they're dead in the air. This looks quite good. I guess I could have played Mana Crypt, so I could have hard cast Solitude. Probably should have done that. But I just want to leave up misstep for key. It's like the only way I lose from there. Interesting. Kind of awkward games, but Archon of Emeria totally broken. Okay, round 2. On the play again. And a turn 1 Archon off Cavern. And a Wasteland. Yeah, alright. Deck looks broken when you draw like this, huh? Why don't my PO draws have 2 Moxen in it? Come on. I would have taken some 2 Moxen hands on Saturday. I swear my PO draws don't have 2 Moxen ever. Oh my lord, why do I have 10 notifications? What happened? I have no idea what happened. Yeah, this is basically perfect mana. Obviously we would really like a nice follow-up play, but I certainly didn't have a lot of Moxen when I played Grimm's White Weenie though. I swear, that was a rough one too. I don't know. It's probably better to have luck that is like really hit or miss than to have like even luck forever, right? Like if you can just like put your luck in the right tournaments, then it works really well. Didn't have a lot of planes either. Yeah, true. Archon. I wish that this had like, I guess there are no other types this can be. What do you got for me, Parks? That's what I thought. That's a classic Parks draw. Yeah, Parks usually plays Bug. Ooh, hello. Huh. I think I'm just supposed to Wasteland so they can't have a Deathray Shaman. And then I guess I'll just put a Skull Clamp on this. I think the key is not letting them have a Deathray Shaman though, so killing Tropical makes the most sense to me. End of turn Brainstorm, nice. Good use of their 1 spell per turn. Scam? I don't know about Scam, Max. Have you seen how much better this mono white deck is? It includes all the good elements. Well, not the Skull Clamp. The Skull Clamp is not very good. Oh, come on! Why you just have a green Moxen too? I'm gonna have to kill that. I don't think they'll have a basic island or swamp, so that's okay. I think I'm just gonna have to... I wonder if I should cast this Cathar Commando on their turn so that it takes up their 1 spell per turn. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go Plains, pass, and then on their turn, I'm going to play Cathar in the upkeep. And this way, if they force this, they can't play another spell this turn. Yeah. Force pitching Ancestral Recall, chat. Big brain play here. So now they can't play another spell this turn, which is great. Oh, it's not Bug. It's actually Tolarian Academy. Interesting. Interesting. What is Parks up to today? Now the question becomes, do I strip mine this? I don't think I strip mine this Tolarian Academy. Maybe I do. I kind of want to see if they fetch. So now that I've seen Tropical Tolarian Academy, I don't know what that means. So the problem is if they're PO and I wait till their upkeep, they can PO and I guess it doesn't matter. I think I'm going to hold this strip mine because I don't want them to fetch. Okay, they are going to fetch. So what are you going to fetch for? Tundra. Okay, so I have to choose between Tundra and Tolarian Academy. I'm going to choose Tundra. The things that I'm worried about are Swords and Teferi. An Oko should still be playable for me, but Swords and Teferi are really bad for me, so... This could be a bait, but I think it makes sense. It's a pretty good bait if it is. Basic Island into Oath of Druids. All right. Well, I couldn't stop that. That's why they countered my Cathar Commando with their Ancestral. I can still draw one of my 3 other Cathar Commandos, or... Yeah, no, Luris doesn't do it here. Luminarch Aspirant. Well, time to find out what they are going to... Well, I guess I can... Should I clamp this? Well, if for some reason their creature doesn't fly, that would be passing up on a win. I'm going to play the planes and pass. I can clamp it next turn if I need to. What? What? Did my opponent just... That didn't just happen, right? Oh, no. My opponent could... My opponent can turn my Skull Clamp into a creature. No. They have Gush, Urza Saga. Is this a Brian Kelly deck? Oh, it's Brian Kelly's deck. Oh, everything makes sense now. It's Brian Kelly's Oath list. No, so if they turn my Skull Clamp into a creature, I make this thing a 3/5 flyer, they block on the ground. Yeah, and I make it, yeah, I think it's bad, right? Because I lose the plus, no, maybe it is the same. I don't know. I'll show you this Oath list, hold on. Oh, it doesn't even appear in Oath? Wait. Am I crazy? Am I crazy, though? If they turn the Skull Clamp into a 1/1... Oh, no, I have a +1/+1 counter of my Archon. So I make my Archon 4, and they can't block both on the ground. All right, so don't Oath into Hull Breacher. First off, even if Brian Kelly does it, don't Oath into Hull Breacher. Hold on, I'm trying to find this deck. Brian. Show it to chat. Okay, yeah, here's the Brian Kelly list. No, this is a deck that just top 4 to Vintage Challenge. Actual factual top 4 to Vintage Challenge. So it plays Hull Breacher, Dragon Lord, Dromoka, Sun Titan. It's a control deck that just happens to have Oath to put 3 creatures in play. It's not an Oath deck, right? There's no Orchards. It's actually just a Bant Oath deck splashing Ren and 6 Breach. No, sorry, a Bant control deck splashing Ren and 6 Breach. It's a Brian Kelly masterpiece. Like, it's got a Savine's Reclamation in it. Yeah, okay, everything makes sense now. Everything makes sense now. So yeah, this is Brian Kelly's newest Oath take, which is actually a control deck that has Oaths to cheat things into play. Which is cool. Like, having just 2 Oaths so that you can, find against a creature deck is pretty sweet. But hitting Hull Breacher, I guess if they hit Sun Titan there, that also wouldn't have done it. But Dragon Lord Dromoka would have been a pain in the butt. All right, now what do I bring in? Do I even bring in Containment Priest? It's possible. It's possible that's reasonable. Where did my thing go? I kind of need that list back. They are on 2 Oko, 1 Teferi. I don't think this is a Deafening Silence matchup. They're not really a combo deck, though they have a lot of Moxen. It's kind of weird. Kind of like the idea of Mirren Crusaders. I kind of like the idea of Stony Silence, but it's like they're not doing anything with their Moxen besides casting like Planeswalkers. I don't know. It's really awkward. Super awkward. I have no idea. I think I trim one Solitude then, at least. Sure, let's try this. That's true. I do think they should add Boo so that Brian Kelly will play against me. I do want to see that. I don't think there's like sideboard better Oath creatures. I don't think that's what's happening here. No, those are the creatures we're oathing into. We're oathing into Hullbreacher, Dragonlord, Dromoka, and Sun Titan. Only Brian Kelly. And people who fall for Brian Kelly's traps. To be fair, I fall for Brian Kelly traps very often because they're a blast. This is a cool hand. So what we'll do here, because we have on-color Pearl, we can go Pearl, Cavernon, Cat, play a Thalia, and then we can Luris uncounterably. I mean, Oath is good against my deck, though I do have 4 Cathar Commando, which are so good. This card is just really, really strong. I think this card is probably the not most underrated. It's one of the more underrated cards. Like, I think people who have played it in Vintage understand, but this card is just hits all the right things. Also hits Urza Saga, by the way. Just in case. Just in case there was an Urza Saga that might have done something. I killed a Bola Citadel with a Cathar Commando the other day. That was dope. Ooh. Urza's Saga go on a mull to 3. I see. Oh. I think what I'm going to do is play Thalia first. That makes it so they can't, like, play Amoxin and... Yeah. All right. Wow. Is this going to Needle Wasteland? That's kind of a nightmare. Oh, okay. Well, I think this should have Needled Wasteland. Yeah. Not Needling Wasteland there is not going to go. Yeah, no, I do like the green one, too. The green one doesn't kill Sphinx of the Steel Wind, which is a little annoying, but... I'm trying to figure out if I want to kill this Saga and let this one go away and give them a black... They have no cards in hand. Should be fine. I think I'm just going to kill this for the smaller Saga. They can't make a creature with their lower Saga. It's going to go away. They have to turn it into a mana, probably. I can still cast this Cathar Commando on their turn uncounterably. I just can't imagine what... Like, they don't have enough to, like, get Black Lotus, draw Sun Titan, and replay Sun Titan, so... What is this? Gataxian Probe. Sure. I do think that if this Needle had Needle... Sure. I think if this Needle had hit Wasteland, my opponent would be in pretty decent shape, though. That's, like, the real downside of me going Thalia instead of Wastelanding on turn 1. My opponent found a Force of Will. That is not very good off of an Narset here. My opponent said, damn, Brian Kelly really let me down here. It's too funny. All right, round 3. We actually have another Hate Bears player across the table, Mosh. Mosh is a Japanese player who plays a black-white Hate Bears, similar to this deck. It's got Luris in the main. It has Archons. It has some Dark Confidence it's splashing. Splashes like some removal and some Yixu Jailers and stuff in the board. I like basic planes against Wasteland, but I don't really like Thalia or Deafening Silence. It's kind of a tough hand to keep. But basic planes is really good. Mox is really good. I'm gonna keep it. Like Lurrus is pretty good. So I think this hand is worth keeping, but it's definitely borderline. Uh-oh. I guess if they play their own Thalia, it's quite bad for me. Okay. Drawing the third Thalia was definitely not ideal. My opponent has a very mirrored start here. Yeah, our hand is not great. I'm not gonna lie to you right now. If we hit exactly planes on our next draw, I think our hand is quite good. Just having access to Lurrus Archon seems reasonable. Unless they play an Archon. Oh no! Oh no, they have the Mirror Breaker. That's really bad for us. At least I can play a first striker here. I can't play an Archon because they could equip, attack, deal first strike damage, then minus on my Archon. That would be bad. Yeah, I mean we have 4 Cathar Commandos, so we have outs. But that is bad for us. What format are we playing, by the way? Magic Online Cube, right? Oh, they're going in. Well, I'm gonna block. I'm not gonna block. They're not gonna attack. Okay. This is not too bad for me, though. No land. I have a Stoneforge. Is Stoneforge better than Archon here? It's gotta be. Get a Cauldra going. I guess they kill my Stoneforge by attacking and then minus minus. So maybe getting a Skull Clamp is not very good either, though. I don't know. I also have this, which could, make my opponent, some of my opponent's mana base come into play tapped. I think I'm just going to play that. Just feels like a slightly better play. Though, I guess clearing the Jit for my Lurrus is pretty good. I don't know. Maybe I should try to hold off until I find a Commando, right? Oh, got the tap land. Okay, so they can have sword. Do they play swords? I gotta go see what Mosh is up to these days. I know Mosh just had a top 8 on a Sunday recently. Let's go take a look. 3rd place in a vintage challenge with 3 Dark Confidants, 1 Camball, 3 Swords to Plowshares in the main. See, this is another deck where I think these Swords to Plowshares should just be Solitudes. Can't get flustered. Is a creature. 2 Caracas, 4 Cavern, 2 Caracas. Oh no. Oh, Myers Grasp. I love it. I took a lot of inspiration from this list as well with the 3 Lurrus in the main. Pretty similar. I took some idea from Mosh, some idea from Grim, and some idea from Wessel when I made my list. So I'm hoping we don't get swords, but all right, well, now we don't have very much options. I think I might. What do I get from wastelanding that? Anything? I don't think I get anything, right? I can, like, stop them from maybe, like, playing a spell and equipping in the same turn. Doesn't seem good. I don't think Mosh plays Stoneforge, though. I think that's only me. Yeah, no Stoneforge on their side. 4 Cathar Commandos, though. This one, I'm going to get Cauldra. And then the next one will get Skull Clamp. And there's no reason for me not to attack with this Archon, right? Like, if my opponent has a Swords for my Thalia, I am just in deep shit no matter what. Well, I guess if they Swords my Thalia and I double block here, they first strike onto here, shrink, shrink. Yeah, it's just really bad either way, I think. So, just don't think I play around Swords. So they probably... Oh, maybe they have Cathar Commando end of turn here. That might be more likely. Oh. Yeah, they had Swords. Oh, that's bad for me. The good news is they attack, they use their 2 counters, they kill Stoneforge, and I play a new Thalia. Like, they have to kill the Stoneforge. Yeah, okay. Another pass. I mean, they have another Swords. Thar Commando. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so I just, I play the Cathar Commando during their combat. And then I can block and shoot. Alright, so once I deal with the Jite, then we're actually in a pretty solid spot. We're gonna have a Stoneforge with Cauldra and Skull Clamp. We're gonna have some backup chump blockers, and then if we ever hit other planes, we have Luris. And they've already used one of their 2 removal spells. They've already used a bunch of their removal spells. Okay. No. I think we're ahead now. So this is gonna get a black land, probably, maybe not, because I have a wasteland. Oh, they're just gonna get a scrub land. Okay. Oh, they can bring this back with Luris, though. That could be problematic. Anime of the season for last season? Spy X Family, for sure. I don't think it was very close. All right, so the Jite has been dealt with for now. My opponent has a clock for us. They only have 1 removal spell left in the deck. We have a Stoneforge with a Cauldra complete almost in play. Yeah, I haven't been watching that one. I just haven't felt like it was something I really wanted to watch right now, but I have heard good things. No, Kongming was fine. I liked Kongming, but it didn't live up to its first like 3 episodes. It was still good. It was a really good show, but Spy X Family was legitimately like amazing. So I think I'm gonna Wasteland. Maybe I'm not gonna Wasteland this. Like, if they play more Dark Confidants, do we really care? I don't think we really care. I think I'd rather just use my mana to get the Skull Clamp in play. Is this another... Oh, okay. Sure. They took 2 from another Dark Confidant. Okay. They had another Scrubland. Okay. Man. I have to take this because I really need to get this Cauldra in play. We're actually pretty close to... Or we're probably just racing. Obviously, if I can just hit another white source, we'll be in great shape. All right, so I have to just put this Cauldra complete in play. I just hope they don't have their 3rd swords, basically. And I'm gonna hook up this Skull Clamp. And then go to town. Indestructible. They have the 3rd swords? Oh, no, they killed the Skull Clamp. Okay, fair. Fair. I was like a little scared. Oh, they're just going for it. Caracas. Okay, Deafening Silence. That takes 1. This is not a legendary, so now my Thalia doesn't do anything. But we do have a Luminarch on our Phyrexian Germ token here. My opponent probably can't keep these Dark Confidants around forever either. Just coming in. Thalia. Okay. So I play a Lumi. Waste this Caracas. Play a Lumi. Put it on my Stoneforge. Attack all. No, play a Lumi. This is 4. That's not good, right? Because I can't play something from my yard if I do that. Play a Lumi. Okay, so I'm not going to wasteland them. I'm just going to go Lumi. I'm just going to put it on the... So if I put it on this, they can block. That's not good. So let's just put it on the Germ token. Attack with just the Germ token. They have to let the... So now I can attack with the Stoneforge. Yeah, okay. And we have the backup plan of Lotus, Luris, play us another Stoneforge or Cathar Commando or something. We actually beat double swords to Plowshares Jite. How did that even happen? I know how that happened. Cauldron Complete is completely busted. Super good. All right, so Mirroring Crusaders coming in. Deafening Silence is coming out. I guess I'll keep Misstep in for swords. Sword seems really good against me. They're going to bring in Mirroring Crusaders. They're going to bring in Myers Grasp is the best card they're bringing in. I guess we'll just bring in... I guess we'll bring in Soul Guide Lanterns for their Lurises. Maybe not 2. Maybe just bring in a Soul Guide Lantern that we can loop. Well, we don't want this many Thalias, so... We'll cut a Thalia. We'll bring in 2 Soul Guides, 2 Mirroring Crusaders. We cut our Deafening Silences. Yeah, this looks pretty good. And we have 3 Solitudes. I don't know. I think I like our build. I mean, they have Dark Confidants, which are good. This hand's not, like, super great in the mirror, but obviously we'll take the mana. Wasteland. Go. Love it. Mox. Mox. Plains. Archon. Now, they have Plains, so Archon's not lights out or anything. But we can actually waste their waste if we want. We can waste that. Kind of like wasting that. Yeah, I'd rather just... Yeah, we can use our 1 mana to play a Skull Clamp. And then we'll use our 2 mana to play a Cathar Commando. Nice. Tapped. Archon's so good. It's good against everything. Absolutely good against everything. Core? Does that mean they have Stoneforges now? Interesting. Lumi? We're drawing hot today. I don't even think it's correct to Skull Clamp, because we can't even play more than 1 spell on a turn anyways. I guess I should have equipped the Skull Clamp to the Archon. That was kind of dumb. I didn't even think about it. They did bring in Stoneforges. Cool. No, I should have put it on the Archon for the extra damage. I absolutely should have done that. I just didn't think about it. They played their own Caracas. Alright, so I'm just going to put this on the Archon and put a counter on the Lumi and attack all. So they would have been at 2. I don't know if that changes very much. Three lethal attackers. Another one. I like our build. I do like their build too, but I like our build a lot. I'm under the assumption that that is correct, Turtle. That is what I've been told, but unfortunately, I don't think I can keep this hand against PO. I think my opponent will probably be on PO, and this hand doesn't have fast mana. It's just too slow. Like, this Solitude shouldn't be very good. Misstep is great, but this Archon is too slow. These Thematic Commandos are too slow. I'm just going to... I'm going to put it back. Use your London Mulligan. There for a reason. Oh! We're on Shops today. Okay. Not a bad hand against Shops either. Now I wonder... No, I'm just going to go Black Lotus Plains, Archon of Emeria. Archon of Emeria should still be good against Shops, even though... And I'll get these Luminarch Aspirants down. Yeah, sure. You're allowed to link your deck list in chat. I have no problem with that. No problemo. Spear is pretty bad for us here, but Arcbound Ravager. Okay, I am back. We're playing this match against Shops. My opponent played an Arcbound Ravager and a Saga. We drew a Wasteland, which is great, but we also have to try to resolve some Luminarch Aspirants. I think I have to hit the Saga first, unfortunately. And I don't really have, like, great blocks. Like, if I were my opponent, I might have attacked this Automaton into me. I don't know if I like wasting the tomb. I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good. Like, the tomb is going to help me on this adventure, I think. And this is, like, probably one of the more pivotal moments of the game. Choosing what to do here. I think I'm going to Wasteland the Saga and attack in the air. Because I don't think I have blocks this turn, and I think this tomb is going to help me on my race. I think this is the plan. Yo, S33BS, thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. Sorry I wasn't here for that, but... Oh, yeah. That was a pretty... TFT is a wild game. Okay, so my opponent played Ancient Tomb Ballista for 1. That is going to hurt... That's going to hurt me on my racing potential here, because now they can move counters and do the double damage, but it looks like they are out of mana. So wasting the tomb would have been fruitful. We could still waste the tomb. I think we need to build up our board, though, If my opponent wants to shoot my Luminarch Aspirant, I think I will. I mean, I think we're going to have to play into that. Let's see if they choose to shoot my... I didn't choose to shoot my Luminarch Aspirant. Does that mean I want to make this a 2-2? I don't think so. I think I'm just trying to race here. I don't know if this is the right way to go about this match, but it feels like at 9 life, with my opponent constrained on mana, only having an Ancient Tomb, I have a big flyer. It just feels like the right way to go about this. A Wasteland tapped is really good for me. Thank you, Archon of Emeria, again. Yeah, they also... I mean, I know that they don't have a lot of Moxen in play, though, and they can't play a lot of Moxen. We actually gonna get there. I think this game is close, though. I would play it out if I were them. I actually think... There's there's some possibilities here that, like, they have a lot of options on how they can play this out. Like, they can't really get rid of the Ballista because they're not racing, but they could sack the Ravager, put it on the... They could, like, sack... I don't think concede here is the way to go. This feels like a really close match, but I don't know. It's a tough match. There's a lot of weird choices to make there. The good news is we got Stony Silences, we have Serenities, and we have Katakis. And we have Stoneforge Cauldron complete, so... I'm going to take out Deafening Silence, Mental Misstep. I think Thalia is really bad. Take out Thalia, at least some number of Thalia. Maybe I'll just take out all 4 Thalia. And the Skull Clamp doesn't really seem like that's where we need to be here. So, obviously, Serenity Stony Silence is not a combo, but we can just kind of play around it. All right, not enough mana. Yeah, this hand is probably fine. Maybe fine. Oh, this is a rough one. Maybe we don't want to play this. Double basic is super nice. We do have accelerated mana. I might keep this hand and bottom the Archon. Go like turn 1 Plains, turn 2 Plains Petal, Luris Petal if they play no spheres. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm going to try this. Workshop. Sure, that's fine. It's pretty good. If they have follow-up Spear, we're in trouble. This thing has Ward, huh? Man, it's quite good. Maybe we should have mulliganed for a Serenity. So I'm worried about my Petal being revoked, so I'm going to hold it. Obviously, this plays really badly into Sphere, but I think if my opponent had a Sphere, they should have played Sphere instead of Ravager, so I'm going to play around it. That is pretty annoying, but we can actually Solitude it here. Wow, they have another play? Holy moly. Well, if we can find a Serenity... Oh, boy. I think I have to Solitude. Pitching, Archon, killing Lodestone. And then they eat. I take 7. It's just not going to be good enough unless we draw Serenity, I think. Yeah, this is rough. This is real rough. Drew Serenity. 5, 7, 8, 9. So as long as they don't draw something insane. Why not post-combat? What are you talking about? I can do what post-combat? Oh, I did take 1. Yeah, you're right. I don't know why I did that. You're right. I just thought they could eat with the Ravager anytime, but you are totally right. Yeah, that's probably my first, like, super major misplay tonight, but that's totally correct. I just didn't think about it. Okay, so right now my opponent has 8, 9. I go to 3. I am currently dead on board to Ballista, but that's kind of it. And if they don't draw like Ballista, we have Recurring Serenity with Luris. So we're in a good spot, and this will lifelink us back up. They didn't eat the jet. Okay, so they should have ate their jet here, so they would have taken 1 more damage. They were still in Ballista range, though, so it's okay. Oh. Interesting. I think I want to get Luris in play before playing Stony Silence. So this line means I'm worse against a Ballista top deck. But it should put me, I think, in better overall spot. 3 ball. Okay, so I attack. Now I'm out of range of Ballista. I'm still just going to play. So I don't want to have to Serenity after playing Stony Silence. I guess I just don't care about... Maybe I should have played a Lumi here. Might have been Lumi. It might have been the better play. Ooh, Wasteland is really good. Now I'm actually off of Trinosphere. Huh. Maybe Wasteland, maybe Lumi was just better play than Stony. Okay, well, that's really bad for me. Well, that's a good draw. Okay, so I take 6, and then I can Cathar Commando, and... Okay, alright. I don't think playing Serenity now is better. If I play Serenity now, then I can't get an attack in, which I think makes it worse. So I'll just take the hit on the Worm Coil. What a game. What'd they draw? Oh. It's pretty annoying. That 1 life might cost me. I don't get my life back. I wonder if I have to Serenity now. So if I Serenity, I double chump. Like I put both of my cards on Worm Coil. And I don't die. I lose everything. Or I can chump the Worm Coil, shoot the Nettle Cyst. But I can't play anything this turn. Or I can chump the Nettle Cyst, shoot the Worm Coil. Doesn't seem like that works better. Well, no. So what I would do is I can double block the Worm Coil Engine. I have lifelink. So I don't die, and then the Serenity will go off and blow up the whole board. But I won't have a Luris or a Cathar Commando or a Stony or a Petal after. And then I'm gonna like take a bunch of damage, maybe. Shoot Sphere, play Lumi. That's losing on board. I mean, all of those things. I'm not seeing it. So if I block here, Trump, I can't do that, Grizzle. How are you doing that? That costs 4 mana. There's a Trinisphere in play. That one life might actually cost. Oh wait, that's a different game? No, it was this game. Ah, that's so bad for me. That's the worst possible top deck that could have ever happened here. Would have been able to beat this if I had played Serenity. Wow. I just lose to that, right? I think I just lose to that. I have to draw Solitude. I should have played Serenity. My initial line was play Serenity. I don't know why I talked myself out of it. I just talked myself out of it. I think Serenity was best. That one doesn't work. Yeah, this is fine. I'm just gonna get rid of Lumi because I think that's not how this game is gonna go. This game is gonna go hopefully Plains, Stoneforge, Cauldra, Wasteland, Serenity. Okay, Mana Crypt, Wasteland, Inspector. This should be Cat. Well, if they don't attack the Worm Coil, then I can just use the Luminarch on the upkeep. Not the Luminarch. I can just use the Cathar command. What the I just get boated? They just boated me. Mother. So I take 6? I didn't think I'd get boated. Now I feel like I'm losing, like, badly. I'm still gonna Serenity here. I guess I could have played Caracas. No, this supposed to be double Wasteland. This is probably better. Who boats? Tough matches though, huh? Tough matches. Oh, they have their own Wasteland. Wait, what's this? Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, sure. I guess. I was hoping we wouldn't have to kill anything post-combat here, but... I was hoping, what I was hoping that would do is wipe their board, and then I would double wasteland them or single wasteland them. And that would be parity. But now I'm in trouble. Wonder if, like... What am I going to wasteland? Their wasteland? Play a Cathar Commando, trade with the lifelinker, leave a 3/3 death touch. I go to 5. I need to... Like, I'm not winning that. It's not a winning line. But if I don't wasteland their wasteland, I get wastelanded. It's quite bad for me. I don't know. This looks really bad. Yeah, I guess you have another wasteland. Like, they have to not have another follow-up play. They just have a... Oh, no! Really? I mean, I drew out of it. Crazy. It's like one of the only draws that gets me out of it. Oh, boy. Okay, all right. This is a game of Magic, let me tell you. They have another play? Oh, okay. I was about to say, like, what can it possibly be? Serenity. I think what I'm gonna do is put us both on no mana. And see if we can out top deck them. It's a really bad idea. My opponent can just draw a workshop and I lose immediately, but I think that's all I have going for me. And top deck workshop immediately? All right, well, I think this went about as badly as it could have gone. I don't think I played well, but I also think that went really poorly. Unfortunate. Damn, we have so many good sideboard cards for that matchup too. Dang. All right, 5th and final match here with our improved, maybe, mono white deck. What do we got? What do we have? That one doesn't look good, unfortunately. If we had a plains, this one actually is nicer. Maybe. Don't think this covers enough bases. I mean, if they are on 4-color Archon, this hand's not bad against 4-color Archon, though. It's not great either. I think I'm going to put it back. I think this is just too risky. Oh, this hand's great. Sweet. I will bottom the... Oh, man, I really don't want to get my Mox Vigored. I think I will just bottom the clearing and go turn 1 Plains Deafening Silence. And then next turn, I can still go land Sapphire Archon. I think that makes more sense than playing like Sapphire Deafening Silence and getting Vigored. And like, we don't need another Moxen next turn. The only way we would like play multiple spells is if we drew Lotus. Oh, they're on Bazaar. Our first hand would have been so much better. Our first hand with Wasteland Uncounterable Lumi would have been very good against this. Well, they are Hogaak though, so we did play around Vigor at least. And Krakus is quite good. Archon stops Vengevines. Archon's pretty nice against this deck. If they like cast a root wall, they can't cast another spell. Bloodghast will come back. All right, dope. Yeah, so once I get Alit to answer, and once I get SO63 to go back and look at his 2 matches, then we'll actually have all of Sunday as well. Man, workshops. All right. Well, almost have that whole data filled out. All right. Yep. All right. So are we getting Vigored anyways? It's not great, but it's not the end of the world. Thalia. I'd rather get this Lumi going. Think I just need to hold the Archon because this race looks quite bad for me right now. Wasteland is really bad for me as well because they can Wasteland this and then get a Hogaak in play once they find another green creature. I also kind of just need to get this Lurrus in play. So hopefully we draw a land next turn, play Lurrus, bring back our Sapphire. They hit another Vengevine and a Deathrite Shaman. All right, that's not bad. I wonder what they would keep over a Deathrite Shaman. Maybe a second Deathrite Shaman. Or maybe they just have the Hogaak. All right, we're really looking for a land here. That's pretty good too. Though we are going to get our Caracas Wastelanded, unfortunately. This is going to get us Cauldra, though, and that will be the beginning of the end for our opponent. I think I'm just going to make this a 4-5 so that we don't take any more damage, and then later on we can really easily clock our opponent. So my opponent's best play is Wasteland by far, and then once they draw another creature that they can put in play, they want to get that in play, and then play a Hogaak. To that end, they should probably be activating Bazaar, yeah. Yep. So I expect them to like maybe pitch Bazaar, play Deathrite, pitch a Blasting Root Wall, play that. Because we don't have a Hogaak beat right now, but if we hit another land drop, Caldra's pretty good against Hogaak. All right, so here's the Root Walla. They actually got rid of a Hollow one and a Wasteland, which means they have a Strip Mine. Oh my. All right, well, the good news is we are not dying at the moment. The bad news is we're going to have no mana. We hit the mana source this turn. It's quite good for us. Okay, so now what does this race look like? If I just swing both. If I put it on Archon and swing for 10, and then next turn they'll have to chump with multiple units, they shouldn't be able to race. 4, 6, 7. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna swing both of these because they can't bring back a Vengevines no matter what with Archon in play. And they're not going to be able to chump. I guess they will be able to chump. But like this Hollow one alone is not racing me either. My opponent should have activated their Bazaar in their upkeep to try to find a Hogaak, but I don't think the Hogaak is fast enough anymore either, so not sure what their routes are. 4, 6, 7, 9. 4, 6, 7, 9. Okay. You're dead. Sure. Weird flex, but okay. All right, so we get to bring in Mirren Crusader, Soul Guide Lantern, Containment Priest, and take out Deafening Silence, take out Skull Clamp, take out Thalia. Is Archon the best creature in Vintage? I don't know. Mentor and Deathrite are pretty good. All right, what do we got? We have turn 1, Lumi, and a Wasteland. Kind of think this isn't good enough. Like, we're not going to be able to beat, like, a super strong draw for them unless we have a Stoneforge. Maybe this is fine. I don't know. Let's try it for science. What are you talking about? Deathrite Shaman single-handedly props up a series of 6 different decks in the format. You're crazy. If Deathrite Shaman's not on your list is not very good. Deathrite Shaman single-handedly like makes archetypes that are much more reasonable than the Archon archetypes. Okay. So they have a Hogaak and multiple green-black creatures. This is a little sus for me. I guess. I think I just want to get this Lumi in play, though. Get this thing going here. Lodestone's pretty good. Yeah, I don't have any problem with Lodestone being on your list. I mean, there are decks that play Deathrite Shaman and Archon. Wasteland is like a big pain in my butt here. Wasteland is really bad for me here. But eventually this thing is bigger than the board. Like, I'm not saying Deathrite's the best creature in Vintage, but it's like up there. It's in the top 5. This is so bad for me. Ugh. Hogaak's so good at playing through Wasteland. It's crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one more card in their yard and they can Hogaak me? Not a good sign. There's like another question of like, when you start talking about best creature, like Lodestone is only in contention because Workshop exists. Do you count that as part of the creature's power? I don't know. If you don't, then can you really count Mentor interacting with spells and Moxen as part of its power? You know, it starts getting to interesting territory of what do you even mean? Then you have like Deathrite Shaman and Pioneer. Deathrite Shaman's not very good in Pioneer because fetches don't exist. But no card, exactly. So no card exists in a vacuum, and I think you should just always judge it by Vintage. So in that case, like Lodestone, Mentor, Deathrite Shaman. Those the big 3. Are there any other ones? Deathrite requires more of a vacuum. What? More? What? What does that even mean? Lodestone requires very specifically Mishra's Workshop, whereas Deathrite Shaman just exists in a world with graveyards. Thassa's Oracle? That's a reasonable one, sure. I didn't draw a land, chat. I think we're gonna die. Green decks might not exist in Vintage without Deathrite Shaman. This is such a good hand against Wasteland. Holy crap. This hand is so good against me. I kind of need to draw Solitude, huh? True Plains. Plains is something. I think we want 4 to block Root Walla. No, I want 3 and 3. Man, this sucks. 4 and 2? But none of these numbers are good for me. I think Stifle is a 0 out of 10. I would not play any Stifles if you are trying to play Vintage. And this is like a really good format for Stifle because Wasteland is in 60% of decks right now. Playing a 1 blue instant that does it's just not strong. There are 0 competitive decks in Vintage that play Stifle. 0. This is an interesting attack. This attack makes no sense. There you go. 2, 9, 11. I think I'm just like banking on a... I think I have to bank on a Solitude draw here, or a Caracas draw. No, this Bloodghast had to attack, or this attack was not strong enough. Oh, I'm at 2? I might have miscounted there. I don't think a Caracas or a Solitude saves me anymore here. What about Lifelink? Does Lifelink save me? No. All right. So I think that hand was not a keep after our test run here. I wanted to try it, but maybe if we had drawn land right away. That's true. Hollow One is up, should definitely be up there. I actually think Hollow One is single-handedly propping up Bazaar right now. I don't think Bazaar would be an extremely prominent deck in the format if Hollow One didn't exist. So, yeah. That's a very good point. This hand looks good. Yeah, I don't care about OG Luris. That doesn't matter. It's not a card that's in the format at all. So, kind of dumb to talk about, I think. Like, when you start looking at best creatures, you got to look at decks that are like, Dredge is fine, but if Dredge didn't have Hollow One and it was all in on the graveyard, it's pretty reasonable to hate out Dredge. Even more than other decks. I think it's better to get a Lumi in play than to get a Thalia in play, which is why I cut a bunch of my Thalias. I mean, that's just not how you talk about cards, though. People don't really play Containment Priest. There aren't really white decks playing Containment Priest, so yeah. What's up, no props? Taiga Gaming. Good God, Taiga Gaming. That's where we're at in life. Why? That's so rude. All right. I just wanted to play a Mirren Crusader. I'm still playing a Mirren Crusader. God. That was kind of brutal. What are you going? What is happening in chat right now? Who's playing Divining Witches in their Dredge sideboard? What is going on? I should have attacked. I don't know why I didn't attack. I should have attacked. What? Tinker doesn't play Chrome over Opal. What is going on in my chat? I can't look. It's too quick. It's going by too quickly. Ah, what is happening? Uh-oh. Am I just gonna get gacked? They don't have another black creature right now. Oh, now they do. Is this it? Is this just a turbo gack hand? No gack. No gack is bad for you because my Mirren Crusader hits like a goddamn truck. Like this Mirren Crusader ate its Wheaties. Get in. It's been a long time since I played Voltron Mirren Crusader, but I'm down. Absolutely. Oh boy. This deck performs so well. Like, I'm sure if I played better in that Shops matchup, we would just 5-0'd this. I like this list. I think this list is such an improvement on mono white. It just feels way more powerful. Man, okay. This was sweet. I think this deck is good. Closing thoughts on this deck. Archon of Emeria is worth playing. Cavern Archon is a vintage caliber play. Turn 1 Cavern Archon will win you many games of vintage. It's just how do we get there without playing a terrible deck? And this seems close. This feels reasonable. It does powerful things. It interacts with the format on good angles. I like it. I'm going to keep thinking about it. I'm really happy with how this turned out. And thanks for watching. Thank you to YCFSN for the deck donation for this this league. If you want to see your deck played on my channel, Patreon, or check out the Patreon link in the description of the YouTube video. You can find all the information you need there. New videos coming out on my channel Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern. I'll see you in the next one.